Don, do you concede we're not perfect in this country, but we have a progressive tax system? You just heard 10%, top 10% pay 71%. Would you like those top 10% to pay even more in taxes, Don?
Well, I think that there are ways that they could pay more. For example, dealing with the tax on capital gains, making sure that we tax, income that's earned from investment in the way that we tax ordinary income that's earned from a paycheck. And so while the tax code itself may be progressive, there are a lot of elements of the tax code that actually allow people at the higher end to not pay, I think, their fair share of taxes. And, really, I think that this study is a little bit, or the discussion of it is a little bit misleading because most people dip in and out of whether they're paying taxes or not. You're talking about a lot of people who are older Americans who are on Social Security and a lot of people who are very low incomes under $30,000. And so, and a pandemic year where I will feel very confident that in 2022, those numbers are not going to look like 2021 and 2020.
Carlos, I guess people that would push back on some of those notions would say we've always taxed income, and if you've paid tax on it once and then you make good investments, that there are reasons why we advantage capital, people that risk capital to do certain things long term. Do you think would it hurt capital formation if we were to tax capital gains at the same rate as income?
It certainly would. We do not need to design the tax code in a way that discourages people making money, people investing. What we should do is broaden the base. I do think we want more people to contribute, but the best way to achieve that is not by investing even more on this progressive income tax system. It's about bringing more people in. And how do we do that? Through consumption taxes. There's a concept out there. It's called a carbon tax. It would tax pollution. There's a way to design it that would protect the people at the lower end of the income ladder. We'd be addressing two problems at once. Yes, the government needs more revenue, and this would certainly bring in more revenue. And we'd actually be taxing something that we want less of, which is pollution. We don't want less income. We don't want less capital formation. Let's not increase taxes on those. Let's tax something that we actually want to get rid of.
Okay, Carlos, what about a very successful entrepreneur who has never really paid obviously it is income. He created a great company, but it's never really been touched. It could be even $1 billion. It's never really been touched. Should we go after that some way, a step up, or maybe I don't know how you'd want to design that. Would that would raise some money? Is it against our principles, or is it just too hard to do in practice by trying to value assets before they're sold?
I think it does make sense to close some of these loopholes. For example, Joe, if you go and sell $100 of stock for a profit, you're going to pay a tax almost immediately. If you sell a real estate asset, you can defer that tax payment almost perpetually. So there are inequities even among entrepreneurs, among the entrepreneurial class in the tax code. And I do think we need to take a look at those. But to address the broader problem of bringing in more people, broadening the base, it has to go beyond closing loopholes. You do have to look at some of these consumption taxes, whether it's a carbon tax or even a value-added tax.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.